Today, we're covering the good, but mostly the bad and the ugly of becoming a veteran professional wrestler. It's next. I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. Right here on my channel, I make videos for fellow professional wrestlers at every single stage of their career. Whether you're just making up your mind to begin training now, maybe you're deep into your apprentice phase, or enjoying some veteran status. No matter where you are at on your wrestling journey, this channel is for you. And if you're down with that, go ahead and join the Till We Make It tribe. Subscribe down below. Google tells me only 53% of you watching have actually subscribed. So go ahead, hit the button, ring the notification bell, you'll never miss a vid. Or if you want to take your participation and your patronage to the next level, come join my community over on Patreon. Earlier this week, I published a video about breaking the McMahon template, and I looked at how AEW is doing and what Lucha Underground, even Wrestling Society X did in the past. You can get instant access to that video and to 400 other exclusive posts when you join. Memberships start for as little as $5 a month. It is a veritable cornucopia of wrestling knowledge awaiting you. Just follow the link down below in the descriptus. All right, let's dive in. If we're breaking open the 6 hard truths about becoming a veteran professional wrestler, I want to start with the one I get asked about the most, and that is burnout. If you do this for any serious length of time, eventually burnout is coming for you. And of course, there are those occasions when it passes very quickly. The feeling of being burned out, it's gone after a day or two. But there are other times where it does not pass so quickly. Take it from a guy who is now 1 month away from his 28th anniversary in professional wrestling. You may go through phases where that burned out sensation lasts for months. And what do you do in that situation? Well, I think you want to follow my simple 2-step formula. Number 1, set a fixed period of time. Maybe it's a day or two, maybe it's a week or two, maybe it's more, in which you will block out all pro wrestling multimedia and communication from your life. You need that respite. Continuing to be exposed to the thing that burned you out is not going to help in your recovery, right? And then I want you to follow with step number 2. While you are enjoying that pro wrestling blockout from your life, I want you to take in as much from other art forms as you possibly can. Attend the circus, go to the movies, listen to an audiobook. It's a fine idea. Play a video game, read some graphic novels, do these things and allow all of that to flow back in and recharge your creative batteries. And then, after you start to feel yourself recovering, gradually reintroduce that standard amount of communication and multimedia from the world of pro wrestling and look for the points of intersection between all the new things you just experienced and the things that you have been doing for years and years as a veteran professional wrestler. And when all else fails, return to the point of original inspiration. You know what I mean? I really do want you to go back and watch the wrestler, the promo, the match, maybe the era of wrestling that made you fall in love with the art form in the first place. Watch it as you originally did. If you used to wake up on Saturday mornings to watch reruns of WWF Wrestling Challenge, get up on Saturday morning and watch yourself an old episode of Challenge. You'll thank me later for this. Going back to the source of original inspiration can connect you to your initial passion for the craft. And sometimes that's the only spark you need to overcome wrestling burnout. It is possible to have that respite period and actually bounce back completely, if not stronger. Would you leave a like on today's video, please? It really helps me out. I think Mick Foley is ambivalent on this topic. The second hard truth of becoming a veteran pro wrestler is kind of obvious. Injury is inevitable. I've had more than my share, you've probably had some too. And if you are anything like me, you may find those periods of forced downtime, medically mandated downtime, to be a bit depressing. But you can combat those feelings in this way. Choose now, while you are healthy, what you're going to do when the next injury occurs. Dedicate a project, a new skill that you want to learn, something you're going to do when the injury happens. So when your doctor tells you you're not doing any wrestling for the next 6 months, you're going to start right in on the project you've chosen now. You're going to start taking the class so you can master the skill that you are choosing now. Decide that in advance so that when you've got that medically mandated downtime while your body is busy healing itself, you already know exactly how you're going to fill that time. And this really will help you combat feelings of aimlessness while your body is busy healing itself. You will get released. You will be fired. You'll get dropped from one of your regular bookings. If you are lucky enough to make it into the veteran phase of your career, if it is that long tenured, sooner or later, one of the wrestling companies that you work for is going to let you go. And sometimes being fired really stings. But other times, getting released is a giant relief. And that's because no two wrestling organizations are the same. It's never going to feel the same to you. But even when this occurs, remember, there's always the opportunity to flip that pancake over. Let's say that you had a regular gig the first Saturday of every month for the last 3 years. And then, all of a sudden, you get dropped. Sure, that's unfortunate, but what could you do now with that time? What opportunity lies there for you to fill in some brand new thing on the first Saturday of every single month? Is this the chance to travel more that you've been waiting for? Whatever that thing is, find a way to put something in its place that is even better, that might be more strongly aligned with your long-term wrestling goals. You want to get out there on the road more? You want to free yourself from the gravitational pull of your home region? Now's the time to start networking harder so that when you fill in that first Saturday of every month, it's with something in a new state, something in a new region, something that's going to make you feel even more validated. This fourth one can be a bitter pill to swallow, I know. You will watch as the thing you once loved evolves into its next form. Pro wrestling will take on a new shape during the arc of your career, and it may end up looking completely unrecognizable to you. By the end, it might even become repellent to you. In my case, I fell in love with wrestling back in the cable TV era. That's when I broke in. But I watched as wrestling evolved into the social media era. That's what we're in right now. In many ways, the wrestling I loved best no longer exists. Does that mean that pro wrestling today is bad? No, it's just different. And I need to continue to evolve. We all need to continue to evolve if we want to have a role to play, because professional wrestling will never stop evolving. You will turn into the locker room curmudgeon that the newest generation of wrestlers resent. You will become that grumpy veteran who's always telling the kids to slow down and work a hold and listen to the audience. And in exchange for this veteran advice that you dispense freely and openly, They will just wish you'd get out of their way. They want your spot on the card. They want the opportunities you've been presented with, and they cannot figure out why the promoters keep you around. This is inevitable, my friend. And I know because at some point, we were all that naive kid. I know I was. I had it all figured out when I was 18 years old, and nobody was going to tell me any differently. That was, of course, until my career went absolutely nowhere for 3 years in a row. Eventually, that wake-up call comes for us all, but it is never as soon as we need. Up sixth is one I need you to listen to very carefully. You will find ways to contribute to the world of professional wrestling that will go unappreciated while you're still around. We know the incoming generation of pro wrestlers, they desperately need veteran knowledge, veteran wisdom. They need access to veteran experience. And I have no doubt you will find ways to contribute positively. And these will not be recognized or appreciated until you're gone. Until after you've gotten out of the business, you've retired, maybe it's coming for you posthumously. But don't do it for the recognition. Don't do it for that acknowledgement, for that ego stroke. Do it so that you can leave professional wrestling a better place than the way you found it. Do it so that pro wrestling can be better tomorrow than it is today. And I really do believe we can build a better professional wrestling. That's why I poured decades of my own experience into Toolbox, building better pro wrestling. It is expressly for that goal. You can grab an ebook or a physical copy over on Amazon. There's an audiobook that I read to you over on Audible. It's just waiting for you to explore. And thank you to my loyal patrons, especially you, Matt S.